David Seymour has a lot of disdain for ordinary people. He emanates intense disdain for everyday New Zealanders. He just can't stop himself. The disdain is that intense. We have seen him denounce the public as the majority for mediocrity. But recently, he hit a new low. Recently he claimed that even the poorest New Zealanders live like kings and queens. Now that is adding insult to injury. Presiding over major increases in homelessness and unemployment, and then telling the victims of the poverty that you created just how lucky they are. Are you suffering? No, you aren't. David Seymour knows better, and he thinks you should be grateful. How smug and arrogant can a person become? He is incredibly out of touch. He should spend a few weeks living in an emergency housing block, or on the street, or out of a car. His taxpayer-funded luxuries may feel regal, but for the victims of this government, things are anything but. Perhaps he should familiarise himself with the smell of poverty. Spend some time in emergency housing apartments, or familiarise yourself with the chaos and uncertainty of homelessness. There is nothing regal about it. But he will spit on the people who are suffering the most. He denies that their suffering even exists, when he created it on behalf of the rich elites who fund him. He should not simply be voted out of government, he should be voted out of parliament. It is dangerous to have people with such intense disdain for the New Zealand public in cabinet. Imagine if Jacinda Ardern said this kind of thing. Imagine if she increased homelessness and unemployment and then claimed the victims of the poverty she created were living lives of luxury and should be grateful for it. Her enemies would never forget it, and rightly so. It is indicative of an intense disdain for the people. Anyone could be in this position, anyone could end up homeless or unemployed. And the suffering out there is very real. But David Seymour refuses to recognise that it even exists. For him, it is just an opportunity to attempt a witty remark and mock people's suffering. He looks down on you, and he does not even have the decency to hide it. He does not view himself as a servant of the people. That is what government ministers are supposed to be. But a servant of the people would never do something like this. Creating suffering and then refusing to acknowledge that it even exists. Mocking those who suffer. Evil. And I would remind you that he is not just talking about some abstract homeless person. That could be you, it could be your child, your best friend, your sibling, your mother, your partner, anyone. And he would still make the same claim. Because he hates you. And the rich elites know that. That is why they pour ungodly amounts of money into his party. It is a bludgeon that they can strike you with. They know he won't hesitate to sacrifice you for their benefit. I support the MMP electoral system, but this is the big flaw of multi-party systems. David Seymour knows that he does not need many votes to have a lot of power. So he often says repulsive things that you would never hear a leader say in a first-past-the-post system. Because under first-past-the-post, you need a lot more votes to win. David Seymour has started referring to New Zealanders as the majority for mediocrity. He openly despises the average New Zealander, and he knows he can get away with it. So long as he can get 5% of the rich elites and confused fools to vote for him, he has a massive amount of leverage. However, he can be stopped, either by voting for Labour to replace the government, or by voting for New Zealand First to keep him in line.